Hello and welcome to Coffee with Jenny B. It's conversations over coffee, it's community, connections, what brings me joy, and everything in between. I'm your host, Jenny Sacco-Bak. When you think about community and connections, for me, those two go hand in hand. When you meet someone for the first time, you're making a connection. And when you get to know the other person or persons, you start to form your own community. And so you're sharing your community with them, and they are sharing with you. And that's how you tend to build those connections. We like to think about Winnipeg, for instance. It's 2 degrees of separation because we're all interconnected in some way, whether it's through our social interactions, social media, maybe it's family, friends, work. It really doesn't matter, because whenever we meet someone and we start having those conversations, we realize just how many people we have in common. And that's such a beautiful thing, because when you have those connections, you're sharing so much with other people and it brings you together even closer. My guest today is someone who really embodies the idea of community and connections. Her name is Jhocelin Gilbert. She is a community builder, a trainer, and a newcomer advocate. Please help me welcome Jhocelin. Hey, Jhocelin.
Hi, Jenny. Thank you for having me over.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you're here. Now, before we get started, I do want to mention that it was the interview that we had together last year that enabled me to have my own program. And so I want to say thank you so much for, first of all, inviting me to come on your program and to share a little bit about what I do with my international students, and also learning a little bit more about how you are also connecting with international students and newcomers as well. When I first met you, it was really not in person, but it was through your social media account, Paila. And I love the idea of what you brought to your Instagram account, for instance. So normally it's our name or something that we can identify ourselves with, but having something like Paila was a little different. So first of all, tell me, what does that mean, and why did you choose that for your digital presence?
Wow. La paila means pot.
Okay.
In English. So it's a pot that we use in our country to cook because, believe it or not, it was a food blog.
Oh, okay.
It was a food blog during COVID time, and then we decided to transition to immigrant content, how to live in Canada, how to settle as a newcomer, talking about the immigration processes. And that's how it changed. And now it transitioned into an immigrant's life. And that's what I do. I talk about my projects, about the events, how being an immigrant looks like here. And yeah, it has been transitioning a lot. But it was a food blog at the beginning.
You know, that's interesting because it makes me think about the melting pot. And I know that that's been a phrase that is used to describe, I think it started in New York. I'm not 100% sure, but it's the idea of immigrants coming to Ellis Island, for instance. So they're coming from abroad, they're coming to the United States and looking for a brand new life. And when you think about the melting pot, when you look, for instance, your pot, when you're cooking a stew, for instance, a Dominican stew, you're throwing different things in there and different ingredients. And sometimes you switch it up. So for instance, it depends on what you have on hand. You throw it together and it kind of melds together and it becomes this beautiful dish. So when you think about immigrants, when you think about newcomers coming together, everyone brings something a little different, you know, a different culture, different foods. And it all comes together in this beautiful, not so much a dish per se, but it's this beautiful neighborhood, this beautiful life, this beautiful community. And so I love that you're taking the idea of a simple pot and turning it into something magical. And again, when you think about magic, it evolves over time and transitions into so many different layers. And so I love that idea. So what's next in terms of your transition? So when we mention about reaching out to immigrants and providing a little bit more information, what else are you able to then provide through La Paila?
Now we are working with community building because there is a gap between immigrants, not all immigrants, but immigrants and local community. Because when we come here, sometimes we feel very shy to go to events, to connect with people. We feel afraid to talk. English is not our first language. So what if I don't pronounce something well, or what if I don't find the words to talk to that person? What if culturally I'm not accepted? Those are thoughts that usually newcomers come with. So there is a gap, and I want to bring people together, no matter where they're coming from, what language they speak, and they feel comfortable in different spaces. So I do that with events. I organize different events during the year. I also create content. I support different organizations. I do lots of volunteering, and I do collaborative work. So that's what I'm doing right now, and at the same time supporting different communities too.
And what you're doing as a community builder is so important. Now, I know that there are organizations that provide some of those services for immigrants and newcomers, but when you mentioned that gap, there's always that idea that maybe they're a little shy to go to these organizations and perhaps they're not getting all the information that they need. But then culturally, when they're speaking to someone who speaks their own language, there's that feeling of comfort, that feeling of familiarity that really makes them relax and want to know more and to connect with you. And so how has that experience been with you, being able to provide those services to those newcomers?
And not only the services, also to inspire.
Yes.
Because as a content creator, when the people see an immigrant is achieving some goals, they feel inspired to do the same. So it's more than learning things. It's watching things going on. If that person is there, I can make it too. What is that person doing to achieve their goals? So I try to document everything in social media because it's a way to showcase my skills, but at the same time to inspire other people. So more than a service, I would say it's a way to give, because when those immigrants go to different non-for-profit organizations, they learn, but what can I do with that? I still feel I cannot make it. But when they see, hey, Jhocelin is organizing an event and I will attend, or Jhocelin is attending lots of events, or Jhocelin is documenting her professional life on LinkedIn, or posting how she's networking on Instagram, I can do that too. Why not? Because there's always something people need to see before moving one step forward.
Yes.
And sometimes you don't feel you can do something until you see someone else. That's what I do, and I love connecting with people. I love going to places, attending events, and bringing them together, bringing value, as you mentioned at the beginning. We started our relationship on Instagram or LinkedIn, I don't remember.
I think it was
and now
Instagram.
we're here.
Yeah.
And you have been developing different projects with people related to me. And I'm here. You just invited me today. So that's what it's about.
It is. And I like the idea of how you were talking about the idea of maybe disconnection, because it's one thing for them to learn from different services, but then, as you say, what do they do with that? And you, as someone who is inspiring them through what you're doing, because you are putting yourself out there and you're not afraid to show yourself, to put your energy out, which is amazing. But by doing that, what you're doing is you're inviting people in, you're drawing people in with your energy. And then when I think about connections, so you're connecting someone to someone else. And when you talk about being a community builder, that's exactly what you're doing. You're facilitating those connections. You're drawing people in. You're providing those networking opportunities, because it's not just newcomers that are coming to these events. You're drawing people from different walks of life, from businesses, and then the newcomers are meeting, so you're creating those relationships. And that is what I find is so valuable about what you are able to offer. And so I just want to say thank you so much for being that connector, that community builder that is inspiring everyone to want to build and have a better life here.
Yeah, and this is the gap that I mentioned before. I'm trying to connect and bring those people together.
Yes.
And make them feel that they belong.
Mm-hmm. Now, another way you've talked about how you organize events. Now, you had mentioned that October is Hispanic Heritage Month. How important is it to honor the Hispanic heritage and your background?
I think it's important to recognize not only our heritage, but I was noticing that the African community is having lots of events in February.
Mm-hmm.
So why we can't? And I'm so happy that I have been organizing the biggest networking event in Manitoba for Hispanic community. I have been doing that for 4 years. And last year, a group of non-for-profit organizations, a group of Hispanic non-for-profit organizations decided to create an event also to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. Mm-hmm. And they are celebrating that this month again in October.
Wonderful.
So Manitoba Hispanic Show is not the only event. There's another one. And we're hoping to have even more and make October very busy with events, because when I came here, there are lots of countries that speak Spanish, mm-hmm. but we cannot be counted as Colombians, as Dominicans, as Ecuadorians, mm-hmm. because we are minority. We are minority of minorities. So from the very beginning, when I started this journey, I realized that we should be together, mm-hmm. as one. The Hispanic community is big when we are all together.
Yes.
So why it is important? Because I would like, when people hear about me, they understand that we are one community, mm-hmm. but we're coming from different countries, because sometimes people think Hispanic are from Mexico or Cuba only.
Right.
When I speak Spanish, some people ask me, oh, are you from Mexico? No, not only in Mexico people speak Spanish, Mexico and in Spain.
Right.
So that's what I would like to bring. That's what I would like to see. Hispanics to be recognized as other communities are already. Mm-hmm. And it is time for our voices to be heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is so important, because you're right, you're different countries, and there's that assumption that you're one. So the first thing is you would mention, sorry, I'm going to start again. That's interesting that you talk about how you're all minorities within a minority group, so to speak, and then the idea of bringing you together. So as one, you have some power, but together you have so much more power in the sense, and power in the sense of education, cultural education, whether it's about food, about music, about dance, about language, about history, and sharing some of that, because I know that for me, for instance, I love the idea of speaking Spanish, but I've only ever been to Mexico. And so for my reference, that's where I get my Spanish. But if I were to go, let's say, to Dominican Republic, I would still be speaking Spanish, but it might be slightly different, And I remember our mutual friend Carmen, who is from Venezuela, what she offers, again, is very different. So every single Hispanic country offers something a little different. But again, it's those differences that complement each other, and they come together in a beautiful community where we can celebrate our culture together. But also, again, it's educating those that it's not just Spain and Mexico that speak Spanish, but here are all the countries in the world that also speak Spanish. So how important is it for you to put yourself out there, not just on social media, but also connecting in workshops and putting on these type of events? How important is that for you to reach out to the community in that way?
It's very important because I'm a person who loves bringing value, and I want to have that sense of community. I want to feel I'm bringing something important to the community. I think life is very short, and one day when I leave, I want to leave good memories and a legacy. So it's very important, very, very important for me, and I enjoy it. I think we need to do things in our lives that we enjoy, and I really enjoy it. I'm not looking for a result. I don't want to be recognized. And I don't want just my name to be there. It's that I want to feel I'm doing something important. And it fills my heart with joy when I hear someone telling, hey, Jhocelin, I got a new business. I got a new partner at your event. Or you introduced me to someone and that person helped me get in a job. Or I got the job because you referred me, So I think those are the important things in life, not what we can achieve as a person, but what we can build on other people's lives.
Yeah, stronger together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to circle back to what you mentioned at the beginning. When you first started La Paila, it was more of a food blog, and you were probably featuring or highlighting foods from the Dominican Republic, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So I want to talk about a new product, or I guess a new venture that you've created, and it has to do with food. So tell us about your new project.
Oh, I didn't know we were going to talk about that, but that's great.
Absolutely, we are.
Well, I was going through some challenging times personally, and one day I woke up at 2:30 in the morning, and I said, I could sell seasonings, because I always mentioned that I didn't like to cook. I didn't cook in my country.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
In our countries, many countries of Latin America, we can pay someone to cook for us.
Okay.
But in Canada, that's not possible. No. Well, everything is possible.
Oh, yeah?
But it's not affordable.
Right.
So when I came, I had to cook for my family. So I started creating a very traditional vegetables, herbs, and spices blend to cook. So I used to go and buy bunches of, we are meat lovers, pork, chicken, fish, and I marinated with those blends and put them in the freezer. So every day I just had to put them in the oven or steam it or fry it, but it was already very fast to do.
Yes.
So I have been doing that for 7 years that I have been living here in Canada. And that night, I said, I could sell that, because when people visit my house, they like the food and they say, what is that? And I even give them small pieces or small amounts of my seasoning.
Right.
And then I made a list of ingredients. I checked on the stores online, how's the price, how much I can sell it. By 5:30 a.m., I had even the business plan,
Oh my.
everything. So I remember I was on medical leave, and I started little by little applying for a business name, and then called a commercial kitchen and health inspector. And yeah, it took some time for me to organize because I was doing that at a very slow pace, but that was something that was bringing joy to my life. And that's how Dominican Flavours was created.
I love that.
So
Yeah, when you gave me a sample of your spice blend, I tried it and it was absolutely delicious. And I love the idea, and I didn't realize you did that. So before freezing the items, you're marinating it first, so it has a chance for all the spices and herbs and everything to sort of meld together. And then when you bring it out, it's already ready to go and to cook. So I love that idea.
yes, yes. And then I created the marinating sauce, what we call seasoning sauce, but we also have a seasoning salt, because something that I noticed here, there's a huge variety of seasoning salt, but I have never found anything related like that tastes similar to ours.
Yes.
There's always something that it's different,
Yep.
but we would like to feel we're home. So I also created the seasoning salt, and it's our #1 product, because when I go to markets, people prefer the seasoning salt because it's a product that they already know.
Yes.
And I'm so surprised. People loved it.
You know, it's interesting because when my students, they talk about how they try foods here, but it's not the same as the food back home. You know, there's always something just a little different. Even when you think about oregano, for instance, all right? The oregano from Mexico, again, that's my point of reference. The oregano from Mexico is different than the oregano here. And I don't know why it's different. I don't know whether it's because of the climate or maybe because I'm not even sure. But I know that there's a difference in the taste between that and what you would buy, say, in a package in the store. So it gets back to something that is related to your country, to your culture. And so the fact that you are bringing those spices together, the blends that people from Dominican Republic will understand and taste and realize, okay, so this is the taste that I have from home versus something, and again, it's like there's something missing and you're not quite sure what exactly it is, but it doesn't taste the same as home. So I love that you are bringing a taste of Dominican Republic here to Winnipeg.
Yeah, and I know many people who have traveled to my country, and they tell me, Jhocelin, I went to Punta Cana, I loved the food. Oh, do you know that you can make your own food here, and because you just have to add that. You don't need to add anything else.
Right.
And you can add it to your meat, you can add it to your vegetables, you can add it to your rice, to everything.
Okay, so now if you were going to describe that, let's say I wanted to try that, how would you describe that to me, and why would you think that I would like to enjoy that?
This is Dominican Flavor, a line of seasoning bases for cooking. It's healthy because all ingredients are natural, and it's also very tasty. And the best thing is that you can have it very fast, your dishes. You can cook very fast because you just have to add that. You don't need to add any other ingredients than our seasonings. And we have different presentations. We have the juice, we have the sauce, and we have the salt.
Okay, now what if, lovely. Now, what if I don't like spice? What if it's like, oh, I don't like it super spicy? Is that something that I would enjoy?
Well, it's not as spicy. If you would like spicy food, you can add some peppers, but our products are not spices.
Okay, so
our products are not spicy.
Okay, so it's more flavor versus spice.
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
Okay, that's a big difference because sometimes people think that food from, like picante, so it's hot, it's spicy. And maybe that will turn people off, but the fact that it's not spicy, that it's really the flavor.
It's the flavor.
And bringing different spices together, different herbs, will create that beautiful blend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the combination of those ingredients, vegetables, and herbs.
Yes, I love that. Now, when we think about community again, what you're doing is you are offering a product to the community. So not just people who are from Dominican Republic coming to Canada, but also those who want to know more about the different cultures. You know, there's a reason why Folklorama is so popular, is because people want to learn about different cultures and try different foods. And so what you're doing through La Paila, through, you know, being a community builder, through your Dominican Flavours, through everything that you are doing, you are sharing part of yourself with the community, but also encouraging the community to connect with you.
Yeah. And I want to bring this to this conversation. When I started everything, I didn't know the impact of my practices, of everything I used to do when I started.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been growing a lot. I didn't even imagine I was going to be here talking to you or volunteering at your Multicultural channel. But one day I said, I have lots of skills, and I would like people to know more about me, because one day I will have a business. I didn't even think I was going to be having a business related to food in the food industry. But I was working on my personal branding. I was connecting with the community, because I knew something was going to come out.
Yes.
And now that I have this project, I can see the value of community, because so many people, when they know I'm having the line of seasoning basis, they call me, hey, Jhocelin, I want to try. So I don't even have to market that much the product, because everything that I bring, people just trust.
Yes.
Because they trust me. So today I'm selling seasonings, but tomorrow I will be offering another service or another product. And they trust the person because they can see the journey.
Yes.
And that's why I always encourage immigrants, not only immigrants, but I will focus on immigrants, to work hard, to showcase what they bring to the table, their skills, to document and connect with other people and bring value. Because sometimes we want to connect, but we want value from others. But what value are we bringing to others too? So that's something I always encourage, because now you don't need a community. You think you don't need a community, but tomorrow you're having a business. You are laid off from work, or something comes up and you need it.
Yes.
So it is very important to build community, not only newcomers, not only immigrants that have been living here for 10, 30 years, also for you you were born here. You're launching a new product, a new service. You know, you need that. We need that connection.
Yes, we need to work together. We need to trust each other, and we need to promote what we're doing, and really champion each other and support each other, whether it's a product, a service, an event, a webinar. It really doesn't matter. It's making sure that we are making those connections as strong as we can, because again, together we are stronger and we can do wonderful things.
Yeah, we do.
We do. Thank you so much, Jhocelin, for being on. I loved learning more about your journey and, you know, some of the products and projects that you've got coming. And I know that the sky's the limit for you, and I'm excited to see what you're going to be doing next. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing yourself with me.
Thank you so much, Jenny, and I'm hoping to come back soon.
Absolutely, that would be wonderful. So thank you again.
Yeah, thank you.
This has been Coffee with Jenny B for the Multicultural channel. I'm your host, Jenny Sacco-Bak.